Welcome to today's explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here. Now, we are going to treat grammar a little differently today. I want you to imagine we're standing in front of a giant blank whiteboard. Together, we are going to sketch out a house. But we aren't using bricks and mortar, right? Our raw materials are words, and our blueprints are the rules of grammar. By mapping this out step by step, we're going to see exactly how the English language is constructed, from the foundational blocks all the way to the interior design.
Here is our game plan for today. We're going to cover the basics of grammar, grammatical forms and structures, understanding grammatical uses, grammar in the classroom, activities and reflection, and finally, practice tasks 1A and 1B. We are going to go step by step using simple language, and we are not skipping a single crucial detail.
Okay, let's jump straight into Section 1, the basics of grammar.
So what exactly is grammar? Well, simply put, it refers to how we combine, organize, and change parts of words, words themselves, and groups of words to make meaning. You know, most of the time, whether we're speaking or reading, we use grammar completely unconsciously. We don't even think about it. But today we're putting it under the microscope. We are breaking it down consciously into specific forms and uses to really understand the mechanics at play.
To really get grammar, you first have to understand the 9 parts of speech. Think of these as your building materials. A part of speech tells us how a word behaves in a sentence. Like a noun can be the subject of a verb, so the tall girl ran very fast works perfectly. But an adjective, it cannot be a subject on its own. You literally can't say, tall ran very fast. The whole sentence just collapses. Same goes for adverbs and adjectives. An adverb and an adjective together make well organized, which is great, but an adjective with another adjective, that's how you get good organized, and oof, that just sounds so wrong to our ears.
Let's map this out on our whiteboard. Nouns like children or sugar name people, places, or things, and we can subcategorize those into countable or uncountable. Verbs like see or run show an action or a state of being, and they can be transitive or intransitive. Adjectives describe those nouns, while adverbs tell us how, when, or where something happens. Throw in prepositions for relationships, pronouns to replace nouns, and conjunctions to glue it all together. Every single part has a very specific, undeniable job on our construction site.
Moving right along to Section 2, grammatical forms and structures.
If the parts of speech are our individual bricks, then grammatical structure is how we arrange those words into patterns that actually mean something. We're zooming out here. We are shifting our focus from single words to looking at whole sentences, phrases, and clauses.
Now, what's really interesting here is how mathematical these formulas look. The structure is just the name of the pattern, like the past continuous. But the form, that's your exact blueprint. It's the subject plus the past tense of the verb to be plus the ing form of the verb. So, he was running. Or take the passive voice, subject plus to be plus past participle. The road was built. It is literally like following a precise architectural formula.
But wait, we don't just arrange whole words. We also build them from the inside out using affixes. These are letter groups we attach to a base word to change its meaning or give us grammatical information. Prefixes go at the front, like un or dis. Suffixes go at the back, like ment or li. For example, take the base word fortunate, add the prefix un and the suffix li, and boom, you've engineered a brand new word, unfortunately.
All right, Section 3, understanding grammatical uses. So we've built the structure, but how do we actually use these rooms? Well, a specific grammatical structure doesn't just have one set meaning. The meaning, or the use, comes entirely from the context. Take the present continuous phrase, she is doing her homework. That one simple form can mean 3 completely different things. It could be an action happening right now, at this exact moment. It could be something arranged for the future, like if someone asks, what is she doing tonight? Or it could just be a temporary habit she's picked up recently. Context dictates the use, absolutely every time.
This brilliantly illustrates just how versatile these structures can be. Look at the present simple. You can use it to describe a current state, like I live in London. But you can also use it for a future scheduled timetable, like the plane leaves at 10:30. You can even use it for a live sports commentary. He shoots, the goalie saves it. It's the exact same structural framework, just furnished completely differently depending on what you need it to do.
Next up, Section 4, grammar in the classroom.
If you're teaching or studying this stuff deeply, there are a few absolute essentials to remember. First, language evolves. Some textbooks still insist we must use whom after prepositions, but let's be real, native speakers generally just say who.
Second, spoken and written grammar are vastly different beasts. Traditional rules focus on writing, but spoken English is full of repetitions and contractions like don't or won't. A truly great language classroom focuses on both that strict structural form and the practical everyday use.
Let's dive right into Section 5, Activities and Reflection.
Let's look at how we put this theory into practice with some follow-up activities. In the first one, learners have to categorize a jumbled list of words into the correct bins: nouns, verbs, adjectives, all of that. The second activity involves building visual map webs. You take a base word like fortune and branch out to fortunate, unfortunate, and unfortunately. These are a real game changer because forcing a learner to physically and visually organize the language really locks in that understanding.
Now here's where it gets really fun. Learners match structural terms with their formulas, but then they read a hilarious little story about tiny frogs falling from the sky. Their job is to identify the uses of the grammar underlined in the text. This is brilliant because it proves to learners that grammar isn't just dry rules. It's literally the mechanical engine of storytelling. It is how we convey surprise, sequence events, and share experiences.
Let's pause for a quick reflection. You hear this from teachers all the time. My students say learning grammar is really boring and doesn't help them speak. Do you agree with that? It's a provocative question, right? Sure, just memorizing rules can be a bit dry, but as we've seen today, understanding the use of grammar is entirely about communication. What do you think? Does formal grammar hold you back, or does it give you the blueprint you need to speak confidently?
To figure that out, I'd encourage you to try these discovery activities. Grab the grammar reference materials you have around you. Are they focused entirely on written English, or do they include spoken English too? Are they actually up to date with how people talk today? By comparing different books and websites, you're going to realize pretty quickly that not all blueprints are drawn the same way. Finding the right one for your specific needs is absolutely crucial.
All right, final stretch. Section 6, Practice Tasks 1A and 1B.
Grab your whiteboard markers and get ready to apply what we've learned. The instructions for Task 1A are simple, but they can be tricky. You get a sentence and 3 words. 2 of those words have the exact same grammatical function. 1 does not. Your mission? Spot the odd one out, based entirely on its job on the construction site.
Let's try question 1 together. The sentence is, she told us it was very cold there. Your options are she, it, and there. Well, she and it are both functioning as pronouns acting as subjects, but there, that's functioning as an adverb of place. So there is your odd one out. It's a fantastic exercise because it forces you to ignore the meaning of the word and focus purely on its structural function.
Let's move to Task 1B and see how this builds. Notice the big shift here. We aren't looking at form or function anymore. We are looking at use. Take question 1. Why is the word should used in the sentence? You should arrive early if you want to make a good impression. Is it to give advice, talk about obligation, or speculate? It's to give advice, for sure. This task completely changes the game. You have to read the context of the room and figure out exactly why the speaker chose that specific grammatical furniture. We have covered a lot today. The bricks, the blueprints, the whole interior design of English grammar. But as we wipe this whiteboard clean, I want to leave you with one final thought. If language is an organic, living thing that's constantly changing, so much so that grammar books can barely keep up with how we actually speak, do we really build the language with these rules? Or does the evolving language build us? Keep pondering that fluid nature of grammar, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.